Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail, and my guests today are two girls that help out at the Greystone Nature Preserve, and they are college students at the college in Fredonia. You probably remember Hope Winter. Wave so they know which one you are. She was on a few weeks ago, and then we have somebody new today. Her name is Noenan, and she helps. You do something at the Greystone too, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say a little something about each of the girls. Hope is from East Aurora, New York, and lives in Fredonia while she's going to school. And she lives in the dorms this year, which is weird with COVID, and is involved with a lot of organizations. Public Relations Director of WNYF TV. Now that is a television program at the college?
Yeah, it's our campus TV station.
Okay.
Student run.
Yeah, student run, yeah.
And news producer of News 11 on WNYF TV. Mm-hmm. Public Relations of Chair of PRSSA Fredonia. What does that stand for?
Public Relations Student Society.
Oh, okay. Treasurer of the Fredonia Democracy Initiative. Student committee member of American Democracy Project at Fredonia, and a new member of Omicron Delta Kappa Honor Society. And what do you do at the Greystone Nature Preserve?
So for Greystone, I'm using my public relations skill to work their social media, and I'm working on their website as well.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. And moving along to Noenan.
I'm much less qualified than Hope.
No, that was a lot of stuff.
Okay, Noah is a senior. You're a senior. Does that mean you're a senior at college?
Yes.
Senior public relations major and a leadership minor. Now, what is a leadership class?
Yep, so it's a leadership studies minor, so you kind of learn with like hands-on training, I guess, kind of like experiential education through like public speaking and teamwork and stuff, just to really develop you better as a leader, I guess. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that somehow you're learning to lead.
Maybe like a team or just like in the workplace, really anything. You kind of go through a program, I guess, and you take 2 leadership-specific classes, and you kind of like graduate from those classes, and you get a little certificate. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are a member of Sigma Kappa sorority, a member of the Public Relations Student Society of America.
Yep. So PRSSA. What
Yeah,
Hope was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you're also a member of Applied Communication Association.
Yep.
And what would that be?
So it's just another communication club on campus. Sometimes it's hard for communication majors to kind of put their skills on a resume, so they give us opportunities to showcase them, I guess. So we have like a public speaking competition, and we put on fall sweep at the college every year, so just some more stuff to put on your resume.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's quite nice. Now, should we mention the Greystone at farmers markets first?
Sure.
Now, how long are they going to be at the farmers markets?
So usually they go to the farmers markets at 9 to 11. They have been trying to get out there more, especially with COVID. Like farmers markets is a great way to get the word out about Greystone at their tent, which is highly decorated with a bunch of skulls, feathers, a bunch of things for kids to play with while they see the tent, Greystone tent. And they have a bunch of information about the college lodge. They have a bunch of information about Greystone itself with the trails. And they also offer free experiential activities for kids to play with at the farmer's market. Our favorite is the pine cone with peanut butter, and it's a bird feeder. and it's really fun for the kids to just kind of learn about nature and do a little activity. And then also Diane, my supervisor, wanted me to mention the plant swap that they have at every farmer's market.
Oh, okay.
They give away plants such as the blue jasmine, and then I can't remember the other one, but they have a little
A lot of
plant swap.
house plants.
Yeah, house
easy
plants
to
and
take
stuff.
care
What,
of.
was it sacred Madagascar orange?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a
I think it flowers.
yeah,
something.
yeah, it's a flower.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and you're supposed to look for the highly visible tent.
Yeah, so it's very decorated. It's green.
They're usually towards like the very end and sort of on like the back wall, I guess you could put it, at the end of the
Yeah.
street. So they're usually in the middle towards the end, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Yeah, the
okay.
Fredonia's farmers
Okay.
market.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it highly visible. It's
Yes.
not a bright
Yeah.
color or anything.
It's green, isn't
It's
it?
green?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it
Oh,
is.
it's
Yeah.
green. Okay. Okay. Now, it says that environmental samples, feathers, skulls, and stones. And when I arrived here this morning, around about the same time that Noah was,
Yeah.
we find a rubber tarantula and rubber rats sitting on one of the other tables over here, you know. And I don't know what they were doing at the episode that came on before mine, but it must have had something to do with those things.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we talk about the College Lodge then? Now you're going to be writing some articles, Hope, for the Dunkirk Observer about the College Lodge and the Greystone Memorial Trees.
So I'll go into the College Lodge first. So Greystone is a part of the Friends of the College Lodge community. And so the College Lodge in Brockton, New York is currently owned by FSA, which is affiliated with Fredonia. And
Okay. Did you just say the College Lodge was in
Brockton, New
Brockton?
York. Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was in Fredonia.
Oh yeah, it's like a 20-minute drive from the campus.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, and so they currently, the 32 acres of the lodge itself with the apartments and all that stuff brings in revenue for FSA. However, the 168 acres of forest land, they can't afford to keep up with that land and to pay taxes and stuff.
I see.
So FSA a couple of years ago got a quote to log the land, the whole forest, and
Ew.
yeah.
Wow.
So they want to save it. So
Right,
now
right.
they're offering the Western New York Land Conservancy to buy this piece of property for $790,000 to preserve it. So
Right.
the Western New York Land Conservancy is trying to raise $790,000 to preserve it by the end of this year, so they can purchase it from FSA.
By the end of 2020?
Yes.
Ooh.
So they have, currently they're doing well though. They have only, I think, $100,000 to raise. I mean, $100,000 is still $100,000, but
So better compared to how
Yeah,
much else they
yeah.
had to raise.
and
Wow.
so I have been looking into like what's going on, and I've talked to John Titus, who is a part of the Friends of the College Lodge community. I've talked to Kara. I can never.
Is her last name Seekings?
No,
Oh.
it starts with a Frisna. I'm sorry, Kara, if you're watching this. And she's the communications director of the Western New York Land Conservancy. And then I also
okay.
talked to Mike Metzer, who is the head of FSA as well. So I've been looking into that. I'm trying to get awareness about it as well, especially to like Fredonia students, because this is a piece of property that a lot of Fredonia students don't know that is available to like go just hike on, and it's gorgeous land.
It's very special.
Yeah, they have this gorgeous marsh and water, and the marsh is actually from when the glaciers came through, and so it's actually on top of this continental divide, and the water actually runs into the Mississippi and goes down into the Gulf and stuff. So
Okay.
it's
Very cool.
it's a really meaningful piece of property for a lot of people, and it's gorgeous. And so
Oh, okay. So when the Land Conservancy purchases it, people will still be able to go hiking there?
yeah, so they want to keep it they want to preserve it, but they also want to make it more accessible to students and the members of the community. They said that they really want to, that money will be going towards, I can't remember the exact amount of money that they need to purchase it itself, but they're raising the $790,000 so they have money to preserve it and to maintain it, and they want to like fix up the trails a little bit. You know, if a tree falls, they'll pick it up, but they kind of just want to leave the land.
Right. We
natural.
don't really want to be cutting down a lot of
No,
trees,
no,
do we? Because, I mean, seriously, that's what provides oxygen for us to breathe are the trees. So it's important to preserve forest land.
And FSA, they don't want to log the land. Like Mike Metzer really was saying, like, they don't want to log it, but that piece of land is not bringing in revenue. So they want to try to save it, but unfortunately the school is losing so much money
by keeping it.
By keeping it,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so the college is keeping the lodge.
The lodge part itself, the 32 acres of the lodge, that's used for banquet halls, weddings, you know, everything not during COVID.
Right.
So, like, that will all be saved, and students will still be able to rent that out and stuff. But
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Well, I hope that all works out
I hope so too.
the way it should, and preserve the land, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I had written a few questions down about the college lodge. When was the college lodge built, do you know?
I don't know personally, but I know that the college lodge was purchased by students during the Great Depression.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the 1930s?
Yeah, 1930s. So they actually purchased this piece of property and for the students to use the lodge. And so it was this huge community that really supported this piece of property. It's gorgeous. It's got all these beautiful old, like 400-year-old trees that they want to keep, you know, not log them.
Right.
So it's kind of been protected by the students, but however, obviously, as time went on, it's expensive to keep this up. So FSA actually, the students either gave the land or FSA bought it from the students that kind of owned it. And FSA has kind of taken on the role of owning it and maintaining it and stuff, but they just don't have enough money to keep it properly maintained. So
Right, okay. And the reason it was built was just a place to hang around and
and just to like get outside and kind of enjoy nature, like especially during hard times, and like going to college itself is stressful, and like, you know, like studying and getting, it's really important to like just go and relax and just be in nature and get a fresh breath of air. And so, and now they want to keep that, especially during COVID. Like, it's really important to get outside. And, you know.
I know a lot of student organizations will go there to do like retreats, like bonding or banquets or whatever. So it's really cool space, and FSA does catering there too. So, and I know in the back there's cabins too, or like one big
is there
cabin.
really?
Yeah. So they have a bunch of rooms, so it's like a sleepover
So
weekend
you
type of thing.
go have slumber parties.
It's pretty cool.
And a lot of the science department at Fredonia, they would always go up and like take their students up there and
do
kind
labs
of do labs and just to get outside and explore and to learn. So.
Yeah, there certainly is a lot to see out in the forest. Yeah, there really is. We live out in the woods, my husband and I do. So it's really nice. I have a winter coat that I don't wear. It's an ankle-length one. It's really cozy. Has a nice big hood and everything. But because of where I live, I don't get it out to use until after deer hunting season. It stays in the closet until then. So, okay. So basically, you just need somebody, the reason that you're selling it is so that somebody can keep up, keeping the trails up and so forth.
Yeah, just because it's really expensive just to own, like 168 acres is a lot of of land.
And then you have to pay taxes
You have to
on
pay
it, too.
taxes, and they're not breaking even
Mm-hmm.
at all.
And then you have to keep the lodge and the cabins up. You have to maintain them
Maintained,
too,
yeah.
because things wear out and need to be
Yeah,
repaired.
especially in the winter. Like students can go there year round, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they
so
can.
just
Does it sit back from the road then, where it is?
Yeah,
or-
it's kind of secluded in the woods. There's a long driveway, yeah, and a
Okay.
parking lot. and
So you don't actually see it from the road, the main
No,
road or
we don't,
anything
yeah.
then? Okay. So who, then the college was having to hire people then to maintain the buildings and the trails?
Yeah.
Okay. And, okay, I guess these other two questions I was thinking of asking, you probably don't know any, probably don't apply to the situation,
You can ask 'em,
I was
know.
going,
Try to answer 'em.
where you were getting funding for your project, but you're not really.
It's so
You
the
know.
Western New York Land Conservancy is I don't work for them. I'm just trying to like help out
the
and
word
like
out,
get the word
yeah.
out.
Okay.
But she told me that they have received a couple grants from New York State and from community members around here, and it's pretty much just a lot of getting the word out and having businesses and organizations kind of fundraise for them as well.
Oh,
So-
okay, okay. Are you able to mention who some of these committees are?
I personally don't know any. I interviewed the communications director of Western New York Land Conservancy, and she was going to get back to me about that. So I just looked into all this this
okay,
past week.
Okay, okay. And then who does the work when repair work needs to be done on the buildings?
Oh, I don't know.
I know. I think there's like a groundskeeper or something.
Oh, is there?
I don't know his name, but I know there's a guy he'll plow in the winter and do stuff like that. I'm not sure if there's multiple people who do that, but I know of one guy who does it.
Oh, okay, okay. And so somebody does do when the building needs a new roof. Somebody puts a new roof on it.
Yeah,
or-
it's definitely well maintained.
Oh,
I'd
that's
say.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, actually, because it doesn't break even, I'm actually looking into this story as well for journalism class. But Mike Metzer mentioned to me that $100,000 of students' meal plans actually go into funding the maintaining of the lodge.
Oh, is that right?
So I am actually kind of looking into
interesting.
where that money goes towards, because
Oh.
when I was talking to some of the community members of the Friends of the College Lodge, they said that the land isn't maintained at all. So where's that money kind of going towards?
interesting.
But yeah, I'm not trying to but
Yeah.
Investigative
yeah,
reporting.
there's just. It's just interesting to look into.
good to ask
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, it's good to ask and look into where
Yeah.
everything's going. But
Yeah. Okay. And I guess we covered what you had written down here too about it, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. Shall we move along to the Greystone Memorial trees?
yeah.
Okay. Greystone is offering to the public for people to come plant native trees to honor their loved ones. Okay. So tell us about
Okay, so
this.
obviously 2020 is a really hard time for everyone, and if you lose a loved one, unfortunately, during this time, it's really hard to honor them. So Greystone is wanting to reach out to the public and mention that they are offering memorial trees for your loved one, and you can come honor them. You can plant a tree in their honor. There is a whole, currently have 4 planted, and they sit right on the hill of Greystone, and it overlooks the view of the lake. It's a really pretty
beautiful.
scenic area of Greystone. So we currently we are offering to the community that they can come and plant a tree. You can plant an evergreen or a deciduous tree. I could never say that word, but
Okay, do you know, are you able to describe to the viewing audience what a deciduous tree is?
I personally don't know what that is.
There's a native tree.
It's just a
to the
native
area.
tree.
Is it,
Yeah.
is it similar to an evergreen or what?
I personally do not know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but
I'll have to go look that
Yeah.
word up in the dictionary.
I know there's- yeah.
You know,
I know
my
that they're native
husband, I know.
We need a tree expert here with us.
My husband should have come with me to help interview you girls because he went to Syracuse University and he majored in forestry.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's
and he knows what
yeah.
that is. I don't know how many other people do.
Yeah.
But okay, is this correct? One tree will cost them $500 to plant.
Yeah, so if you want to honor a loved one or a friend, so it will be $200 to purchase the tree, to get the tree into the ground, to put the stakes up, because we put in kind of young trees, but not baby trees, so they're 7 to 11 feet tall trees, and they're usually like 3 to 4 years old. So it's kind of, you kind of have to put the stakes up and stuff. So that's going to cost $200, and then Greystone asks for $300 to maintain it, mulch it, you know, pest control for the rest of the tree's life, kind of thing.
Okay. So just the starting cost is $200, and then an extra $300
Yeah,
for
so the
maintaining
total would
it.
be $500.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this is on the Greystone property then.
Yeah.
Now, are there plaques or anything with the name of the deceased
Yeah,
person?
there's you can put a little plaque on the bottom of the
So
tree.
that people can know who it was in honor of when they
Yeah.
see it. Okay. It says here all trees will be, okay, tell us who the trees will be planted by and his company.
So Greystone really, for the 4 that are currently planted, they really trust the business Native Roots with Ron Cook. They think that he's really quality, and they trust his judgment on where to plant the tree and what trees to use, kind of thing. So all the trees that will be offered will be purchased through Native Roots.
And let's see, relatives of the deceased person can come and be there while the tree is being planted?
Yeah, so we really wanted to open up to everyone, and because during COVID it's really hard to have a proper burial or funeral or whatever to honor a loved one. So this is a great opportunity to come out with how many loved ones you want to bring, and we have a bunch of open air and like space for a lot of people to social distance properly.
Okay, yeah.
So
But-
there will be restrictions, like you can't have like 100 people come.
Okay,
But
yeah,
like,
it's
you can have more
okay.
than normal funerals.
Numbers
right
will
now.
be restricted for how many people can attend the planting. Do they have do you have a number? And
No, just, I mean,
Probably a
we
Bill
don't-
and Diane's discretion.
Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of open space, so there's not really a set limit, just like not a lot of, not like 200 people to come plant a
Okay,
tree.
okay.
But, you know, yeah.
Okay. Now, Diane, there's something that she loves that people do at these times?
Yeah. So when the 4 people that currently or have a tree there for their loved one, they planted mementos with the trees. They planted like dried flowers from their funeral, kind of thing. Something to like make the tree stand out, kind of thing,
And give it life.
Yeah,
and-
give it life and like to honor the person in their, you know, own
Okay,
way.
okay. Yeah, you know, one time I was in a cemetery and ran across a poem on somebody's gravestone that was really beautiful. you know, I didn't even think of it before today. Otherwise, I might have brought it in to read. But you know, it's, maybe you've heard of it. It's do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not here. I do not sleep. Is, you know,
yeah,
it started it. It's a really beautiful poem. It's one of my favorite poems. So, you know, and you know, it's, the person is expressing like they're in all of these things in nature, you know, that this is where I am, you know, this is me when you hear this or see this. It's me.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really beautiful poem.
That's very nice.
Okay, and okay, so they have to contact Diane and Bill to make all of these arrangements then. So, okay, is there anything else you'd like to say about it? I mean, people could do this on their own property, couldn't they? You know, or maybe get permission to have a tree planted on in a special place that the person loved to visit when they were alive.
I think it just adds to the beauty of Greystone. Like, it's this beautiful 72-acre property. You know, it's cared for by people who love the land. It's very cultivated, and it means very well. And I think something like that is really awesome when thinking of a loved one. So I feel like you could have it just planted where somewhere you could want them to go, I guess. But at least at Greystone, you know it's always going to be cared for and loved no matter what. So I think that's important.
You know, some families plant shrubs and things around the grave of their loved one, but that can run into a lot of trouble over the years because you got roots, you know, and things that
and imagine if you had to uproot the tree or the shrub, that would be horrible. And that I don't see that ever happening at Greystone, so definitely a safe space.
So, because I know I've heard of problems that way. So, so was there, you know, do they have any kind of a ceremony or anything? When at the time of the planting?
Yeah, so that would all be up to like whoever wants to plant something for someone. It would, you can do whatever you want with that.
I bet they're willing to accommodate for whatever might make you feel better. So
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now you girls, are you both living in the dormitories?
No, so I live off campus in an apartment, and I just have one roommate. So.
One roommate. Okay, and what about
And then
you?
I live in the dorms, but I have a single. So
You have a single. Yeah, I wondered if people were able to be living on campus, and I was wondering if they were allowed to have a roommate.
Oh yeah, you can. It's really strict on campus. You can't go into anyone else's dorm unless if you have if you have a roommate, you can obviously hang out with your roommate in your room. But I don't have a roommate, so I have no one else in my dorm ever, because you can get into a lot of trouble if you do. There's no intervisitation.
Okay, so people from one dormitory can't visit another dormitory. So you basically stay to yourselves, and you can't have any. You can't have any. Parties or or anything or dances or whatever people usually did on campus, you know.
And I know in the dorms there's common areas if you live in the suites, so basically like a living room for your each individual rooms, and even in the common rooms you can't really. It's a little stricter. You have to wear your mask still even if you're with your suite mates, and it's pretty tough for on-campus people.
You can hang out in your common room, but only with your suite mates. So it's kind of like, you know,
it's hard to mingle probably.
I'm thankfully a senior, so I'm like, okay, I've had my college, 3 years.
Your friends off campus probably.
And my friends live off campus, but I really feel bad for freshmen who this is their first experience.
They are
of
just
college.
are just getting started, and they probably were doing their schoolwork from home in their senior high school year. You know,
I didn't think about that.
I do know the school here in Mayville seems to be back in.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I know a lot of high schools and even I guess in college they're doing like a hybrid. So some students will go to class one day and then other students will stay.
So
at
they're
home and
not all
Zoom
there at
and,
the
yeah,
same
flip-flop.
time.
Yeah, so
They separate everything, kind of.
it's a better solution right now at least
Yeah.
for not 100%
Yeah.
in person, but
Yeah, I know that there's one man that I know who drives a school bus, and he tells me, well, I guess the kids have to wear masks on the bus, and he tells me he has to disinfect the bus every time he does the route, and he has to take the kids' temperature before he can let them get on the bus.
so many extra
Yeah,
steps.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So, so anyway, there's not really any socializing then, is there?
I think a lot of students tend to meet elsewhere maybe.
Yeah.
Like we can still go to Starbucks or the dining halls and
Oh, the
it's-
dining halls on the campus are
Yes.
all open
Um,
then, okay.
It's still wearing masks and everything unless you're eating or sitting down, but still social distancing, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Is it different how you go about dishing up, getting your food dished up than it used to be?
Yeah, so Cranston, which is like the main dining hall, there's two main dining halls in Fredonia. There's the Williams Center and then there's Cranston Marché. Cranston Marché is usually just a buffet style. You grab and you eat and whatever, but you eat there. But this year it's still a buffet style, but you can take it to go. They also like offer it to be wrapped up and stuff. So that's kind of decreasing how many people are in the dining hall at once. And then the Williams Center, that's all to go too, but you can sit down and eat as well. So,
Yeah, definitely. With the lines, I know you have to stand 6 feet apart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Wear a mask while you're waiting.
And you
but-
have to sit at least 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the tables, like if you sit with your friends, the chairs are a little bit more spaced out,
Yeah.
but
and there's like less people per table. It's like kind of like normally you could fit 6 people. Usually it's like 3 people now.
yeah.
Yeah, I run the Chautauqua County Vegetarian Vegan Society, and we just haven't, since all of this started, we just haven't had our monthly dinners,
Yeah.
because, you just can't have a turnout of 60 people.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
like that,
It's scary right now.
sitting in the same room and eating food because you can't eat with your masks on or anything. So I'd like to think it's not going to be too far in the future before we can get back to doing that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what about those other eateries over there now? Are they all open? There were certain cafes and things like that?
Yeah, there's different cafes and different buildings on campus, just if you want to grab something before class. And those are pretty much all open, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I want to say there's maybe 5 on campus.
Yeah. There's
Um,
usually one in each like school building.
Yeah, those are pretty easy to stay open still because you don't really sit, I guess. You
Yeah.
just kind of grab it and go to class or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing. So, yeah, those are still open.
Okay, so sometimes people take the food back to their dormitories and
Yeah.
so forth. Okay, so where do you normally live, Noah?
So I live in Fredonia, obviously, but I live on Cushing Street, so it's kind of tucked in the back of the main part of Fredonia.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Oh, like home?
What about? Yeah. Where is home for
Oh,
you?
yes. In Salamanca.
Oh, Salamanca.
Yeah, so I'm pretty close.
I lived there briefly one time.
Oh, really?
Once upon a time,
Yeah.
many years ago.
It's pretty
Long
close.
before you were born. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nice down that way, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, with the mountains.
And the Allegheny State Park, and
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's really nice down there.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. We've got about 23 minutes left.
Perfect.
Okay, now what do you do when you're at the television?
So I am the Why can't I talk today? Sorry. I am the public relations director, so I do all their social media. And usually I would be like getting the word out for events and stuff, but unfortunately with COVID, we can't really do the normal events that we do.
No.
So we had one event a couple weeks ago for broadcast writing, where Spectrum News Buffalo, Katie Gibbous came over Zoom and kind of taught us a lot of things to look out for when you're trying to apply for a broadcast job, and also ways to improve your broadcast writing. So that was our one event for the semester, and then I also do like the social media for all the shows and stuff. Other than the game show, I do some we have 3 shows this semester, which is lower.
There's a game show?
Yeah. so we usually have like 7 shows, but unfortunately this year we only have 3 shows, which are Sports Hour, which is a sports talk show. We have News 11, which I'm a producer for, which is like a normal like newscast about, local stories, national stories, and international stories. And then we like to throw a little odd news in there too, just to spice things up. And then we have a game show, which is hosted by my friend Ryan Blotto, and it's kind of like Jeopardy. It's kind of like that, and he has 3 contestants to come on each week, and they win a gift card at the end, and it's just fun to watch, and it's trivia, so it's all like random questions.
If you're the winner on a certain week, do you come back again?
Yeah, so they're gonna have a final round, like a championship round at the end of the semester, and the top 3 scorers of the show will come back.
Oh, okay.
And play.
Oh, I see. So it's a different 3 people each time.
Yeah, each week it's 3 different people,
Okay.
and then the top 3 people will come back for their championship round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does the person win at the end of the championship?
I personally don't know. It's usually like a gift card to like a local business around Fredonia.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then you said there was a 3rd program too?
Yeah, so there's the Sports Hour, which is like a sports casting, and then there's News 11, and then there's the game show.
Oh, okay. Okay, so about the sports now, are the college sports teams?
No. So that is actually a really tricky one, is that we currently don't have any college sports going on.
Okay.
But there's still like baseball and football and basketball to talk about. So that's definitely been, especially because they just canceled all winter and spring sports.
Okay.
Yeah, for SUNY.
Yeah, for SUNY.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of local college sports talk.
Do you work at the TV station at the college?
I don't. My boyfriend's actually involved with it. He used to have a show, but they had to cancel it for the semester.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
What kind of a program did he have?
It was kind of like a variety show, I'd call it. It was really just silly. They do skits, kind of. It's kind of like Saturday Night Live, I would say.
Oh, kind of a comedy.
Yeah, like a late night TV show kind of thing. Yeah, so him and his friend were hosts for it, and they kind of created it last semester.
Oh.
But yeah, they had to cancel it for this
that's
semester.
too bad, because it sounds like it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and it was just different every episode too, and a lot of students were involved with it too, so it was pretty cool.
That's a thing, it's really hard to do shows like that because in the station we have to stay 6 feet apart, we have to wear masks and stuff like that, so it's easy to do stationary shows like News 11 or Sports Hour because you can sit 6 feet away and you don't move. But for other shows where you're interacting, usually it's really hard to.
Yeah, his show is called The Fred Effect, and it's kind of hard because there'd always be a lot of crew just hanging around and in the scenes too, and then there's the people in the background doing stuff. So it's hard when there's so many people involved. You can't really have a show like that this semester. But the news, it's a lot easier. So
now, your boyfriend, is he one of these people that is spontaneously very funny anyway?
I would consider him pretty funny. He's pretty good at getting quick wittiness.
Some people, some people amaze me. They're so good at it. They're like that all the time. I know people that are like that.
It just comes natural to them.
Yeah, it's just natural.
He's really good at
natural
improvising when he's on set. I don't know how he does it. I can't do that either. But
yeah, it sounds pretty fun. And what year are you in then, Noah?
So I'm a senior, and so is Avery, my boyfriend. But yeah, so I'm a senior, and I graduate in the spring. So
Where's your boyfriend from?
he's from Syracuse.
Oh, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh. He up there where there's a college, and he
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to Fredonia to school.
I know, small
So
Fredonia.
is he staying in one of the dorms?
No, so he lives off campus too, and he's an education major, so he's actually starting his student teaching next semester. Yeah,
Oh, okay. He's
it's a little tricky right now, too.
education
Yeah.
major. What does he want to teach?
English.
English.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
It totally fits his vibe.
Yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
goofy English teacher. He'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's a lot more interesting. I remember trying to take algebra when I was in high school. I literally had to quit taking the class.
I'm not very good at
I
it
could
either.
not. I could not get the hang of
Yeah.
it. It just was over the top of my head.
Yeah.
You know.
It's difficult.
It's definitely a reason I'm a communications major.
Only one math
Yeah,
class
yeah,
in
seriously.
college.
Yeah, I know. I'm good at basic math, like adding and subtracting
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
multiplying and dividing and doing some percentages and things
The
like
stuff you
that.
need to know.
The
but
stuff
I
you
don't
really
need
do
that.
need to know.
Yeah.
Do people actually use things like algebra for anything?
No.
Not that I know.
Yeah, the one day I forgot what I was doing, and I had to use like y equals mx plus b, and I was like, this actually came into my life. Like I was like, this is weird. I haven't.
It
used
actually did pop in
Yeah,
there.
it came. I forgot what I was doing, but I was like trying to figure out something, and I was like, wait. I actually have to figure out the slope of something. That's kind of weird.
Wow.
But, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
wow.
one time. Like it's ingrained in your head, but that's.
I haven't come across a situation
Yeah.
yet, but I have
I
friends
haven't.
who are better at math than me. If
I
anything else,
haven't, like I told you, I'm 71 years old, and I haven't run across a situation where I should have known it
Yeah.
anyway. So I guess it didn't hurt me any to drop out of that class, did it? What else do you do in the class, the leadership class?
So it's been a couple years since I took it, and like I was saying before this, so when I took the leadership classes, there was a different director of the program, so they've kind of transitioned into, I think it's a lot more hands-on than what I took.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I have a few friends in it, but yeah, it's a lot different than it used to be, so I'm not very good at speaking about it currently, but it's a lot of like teamwork and understanding how others work, I would say, and we learn like different leadership theories and different ways you can lead a team, obviously. But it's a lot of getting to know your team because they kind of split you up into sections or like groups, I guess. And you each, it's kind of like my Capstone class, honestly. So they split you up into groups and you work with kind of like a client. So my group kind of worked with like the Western New York Cystic Fibrosis chapter.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's
okay.
kind of learning how to collaborate with each other, and I think groups can be kind of difficult sometimes. So it's navigating how to utilize groups to your best ability, I guess.
Yeah, I usually think, when I think of leadership,
Yeah.
you think of politicians.
Yeah.
And
It'd be interesting to study that, but
yeah, but it sounds more like, it sounds like more, rather than bossing people around, it sounds more
Yeah.
like helping people
yes, definitely.
to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
And it's a lot about learning how to transition from the traditional way of leadership, which is bossing people around, to more of learning, like, how can I help my team? What am I doing here to help them? So I think that transition is really important, too, with leadership. So it's definitely cool that the class is structured like that to learn that way, because nobody likes to be bossed around.
No, yeah, you hear stories about people complaining about their employer,
Yeah.
because it's obvious to them that the boss, or whatever you want to call them, will maybe be showing favoritism towards towards another person, and
Things can
they're
get really muddy.
starting to feel really uncomfortable at work, like they're worried that they're going to accidentally make some little mistake, but get them, that's really not all that important, but get themselves fired or
And you
or
should never have to
something.
worry in a situation
And
like
so, yeah, so people, if they're going to be, have a job where they're a supervisor over somebody, a group of other people in the workplace, that they can be, you know, sympathetic and understanding.
Empathy is so important.
And like that, so that you know, the workplace is a pleasant place to work, and so forth. You know, nobody likes to feel like they're trying to walk on eggshells without breaking them. Yeah, in order to go to work.
Oh no.
So you are coming to the end of your time at Greystone, is it?
Yeah, so my internship is just for this semester.
Uh-huh.
So I will be going home after for Thanksgiving break, and I won't be coming back to Fredonia until the spring semester.
Oh, okay.
But it will be great because a lot of the work that I do can be done remote. Like obviously, like posting on social media, I don't have to be at Greystone to do that. So yeah, unfortunately, my time is kind of coming to an end, which is sad.
So you're gonna miss it. Then,
Yeah, I
aren't
will.
you?
It's just a great
yeah.
organization to work for, and
Yeah, they're really awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be coming back to the college in the spring then.
Yep, for my last semester, I'll be coming
Okay.
back. And
Well, how long is the break between the fall semester and the spring
so
semester?
we come back like the last week of January.
The last week of
And then the first day
January.
of class is like February 2nd,
Yeah,
I
so
think.
this semester we had a shortened semester. So we typically start in August, we have a fall break, and then end in December.
Oh,
But
I see.
yeah, so this semester we don't have a fall break, and then we're pretty much done with classes after Thanksgiving. So we have a little
okay.
bit longer of a winter break this year, and then
Okay.
they are doing the same thing for next semester. So we start in February rather than January like we normally do.
Oh, okay.
And then we won't have a
Okay.
spring break next semester. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's kind of trying to eliminate people like going home and coming back and
Yeah, and like traveling.
yeah,
and
harming the
stuff.
community. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely weird.
Yeah, it's tiring. You don't get a break.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Now, we kind of got into talking a little bit the last time that Hope was on. Asha, who came on with her, was talking about being vegan, and she seemed to know quite a bit about environmental issues and so forth. And I remember Hope saying that she tried.
I tried not to eat as much meat. I don't really. My stomach doesn't really do well with dairy, so I've been trying to like limit how much I take, but I can't become full vegan. I've tried. I love cheese, and I tried to get vegan cheese, and it's just not the same. But
Well, according to some of the experts that I've met, they say the reason people have so much trouble giving up cheese is because there's morphine in it.
Oh, that makes sense.
People, apparently, the cows' bodies make a certain type of morphine because a baby calf can walk as soon as it's born.
Oh,
so the mother's milk has to be addictive enough to keep them from wandering away. And since it takes 10 pounds of milk to make a pound of cheese, you're getting
a lot of
getting an
morphine in
awful
there.
lot of
Oh, wow,
of
that's a
that.
small amount,
So, anyways, have you tried anything like that ever?
Yeah, so last year actually I tried to be completely veggie. I haven't tried to be vegan, but I would say I'm still pretty veggie. I do eat meat like sometimes, but not very often at all.
Not very often.
And that's how I feel like a lot of my friends are in college too. Like nobody likes to cook meat or touch it. Like the
Yeah.
raw meat is just so gross. So
It is, isn't
yeah,
it?
I don't really know a lot
Yeah.
of people. Like obviously when I go home, like my family members are more like meat and potatoes people.
Yeah.
But I feel like at college a lot of people are pretty veggie.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, so I try, but I was pretty much all vegetarian until I went to Spain, and then I decided to try what was going on. So,
So you lived in Spain.
I did.
How long were you there?
So I was there for 2 months. So I left January 7th of this year, and then I left, I think, March 13th, kind of.
Because of the coronavirus, you came home.
Yeah, so kind of when everything was going on here is when I came home, and it was all really quick and scary, but
yeah. Okay, so you were over there to study something.
yeah.
Then,
So I went to a language school. I guess it's called the Center of Modern Languages in Granada, Spain, which is more of southern Spain. And I was just learning Spanish the whole time, and I lived with a host family.
Oh, that's what you went there for, was to study Spanish?
Yeah, just to,
okay.
just to study Spanish. I'm not very good at it, but I tried. I lived with a host family. She didn't speak any English. It was really, really difficult, but it was a really awesome experience, and it kind of taught me that you don't really need to speak each other's language to understand each other still. Yeah, we still got by, we still coexisted, and yeah, I think it was really important to learn that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You know, if you.
It's difficult.
If
but
you have to, if you have to. I know one of my neighbors. She married an American, but she's originally, well, actually, she was born in South America, and then her parents decided to move to Spain, and she grew up in Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, and she is one of our closest neighbors. Now, you can't see any of our neighbors' houses from ours because I
That's a
live
good thing.
out in the country. But you know, she's somebody that lives in the neighborhood, and I think she came to the United States. I think she said to take a job as a nanny.
Yeah, like an au pair or something.
Somehow, at the time, the guy she wound up marrying was living in the same area where she was, and they met and got acquainted, and now she's one of my neighbors, you know. So
that's awesome.
So that's kind of fun. I said, well, geez, I've never noticed you having an accent. You know, she doesn't seem to have an accent like so many people do. And she goes, well, I try not to, but I can, you know.
Yeah,
she could just talk with an accent, but she tries not to.
I had a lot of friends. So my language school was international, so there was different students, like not just from the States, but literally wherever.
From other countries.
Yeah, and a lot of them knew English, even if it wasn't like their country's language. And a lot of them told me that by watching American like media really helps them, by watching movies or looking on social media, like really, really helps them learn English and really get the accent down and really understand it a lot better. So I don't know if maybe she watched a lot of movies or something, but that might help with her like pronunciation and stuff. I think is
well,
cool.
you know, little children pick up foreign languages
so much faster than we do.
Really easily. Yeah. So you know, they can be pretty fluent in a year's time.
Yeah.
So even just playing with other children, they'll pick it up. My son, who is an adult, where he works, there's some people there that speak Spanish, and he said it's gotten to the point where when they are speaking Spanish, he knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's the repetition, I think, is really important.
Yeah. So he knows what they're talking about. Well, that sounds like a really interesting experience that you had. What did you like? Where in Spain were you?
Granada, Spain.
Granada, Spain?
Yeah. I think the closest major city, so Madrid is more towards the middle of this country, and so Granada and Madrid are 5 hours away.
Oh.
So I don't really know if that's a good point of reference or not, but it's more southern Spain, and it's closer to Africa than it is the rest of Europe, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, what were some interesting things about where you were? Things that you really loved?
That I really loved. The city was really walkable. I obviously didn't have a car when I was over there, but it was really easy to meet up with my friends. And in Spain, they do tapas. So when you get a drink, you get a snack with it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. So if you get a drink, you get a little, like, wherever you go, you can get like chips and salsa or a little burrito or something.
Doesn't that kind of make it possible for you to handle the the alcohol
Yeah.
better if you've got some food in
Yeah,
your
it
system.
definitely helps.
In
Yeah.
your system too.
Yeah.
I personally never, drinking alcoholic beverages didn't agree with me, and I gave it up when I was still in my early 20s.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, me and my friends definitely wouldn't heavily drink or anything, but it's nice to
Yeah.
just get a little like sangria or something and get a little snack with it. Like one of our favorite places to go, we would get sushi, which is, you wouldn't think of getting sushi in Spain, but it was just this really small little place, and the guy who owned it had just these two friends that would make sushi with him, and it was really good. And
That's
it was strange because you wouldn't think of sushi in Spain, but
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Okay, so you don't mind eating raw fish then?
no. Yeah, it's weird because I was just saying how veggie I am. The raw fish, it does make me a little wary sometimes, but
Uh-huh.
I think they did have veggie sushi too.
Oh, yeah.
If I can think about
yeah,
it. They,
yeah.
Sometimes they do sweet potato and stuff. So
That's my favorite roll.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Veggie sushi is good,
Yeah.
but being on a plant-based diet myself, I pretty much just stick to veggie ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's not as
So-
you might not get sick or anything. I
Yeah.
don't know if sushi makes you sick, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to get food poisoning
Oh,
or
no.
anything, do we? Yeah, they, down at Wegmans in Lakewood, they have a sushi bar
yeah.
in the
Love
store.
Wegmans sushi. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah, you can go in and watch them make it and everything.
Yeah, it's
and-
pretty cool.
Yeah, I've gotten their veggie sushi. It'll wind up with string beans and, and things like that. Sometimes I make it homemade. Mine doesn't turn out real good, but you know.
It's hard to get it like really tight. I feel
Yeah,
like when you make the roll, it'll
yeah,
probably fall
yeah.
apart.
Usually doesn't turn out really good. And then one time I heard that you could get umabashi plum paste to mix in it or something like that. And I tried some of that one time, but it seemed awfully salty.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you had it?
I haven't, but I can see. I feel like you have to be careful with the salt content with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyways, we're down to a little over a minute. Is there anything else you guys want to put out there real quick?
Yeah, so for Greystone, we're actually doing a little social media campaign for Giving Tuesday, which is basically just a worldwide donation day to your favorite nonprofit. So definitely think of Greystone on Giving Tuesday. It's December 1st this year. So yeah, Greystone will have a little donation platform on Facebook, and they'll have a button on their website.
When
so
is Giving Day?
December 1st.
December 1st.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, look,
Yep, and then
you
there's
know what?
where
We
you can
we
donate
never
to.
got around to any of those pictures, did we?
It's okay.
I totally forgot
They'll be
about
up
it.
on the website soon. So
Okay.
if anyone wants to see the pictures, they'll be up on there.
On the Greystone
Yeah,
website.
and then the
Okay.
trails at Greystone are also open every day. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so go to the Greystone website, people, and look at all their pictures. What is the website again? then?
It's just GreystoneNaturePreserve.com, and that's where
Okay.
you can donate. That's where you can look up what's going on at Greystone and
activities.
and Giving Tuesday will be up on there soon as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Well, thank you both, Hope and Noah, for coming on.
Of course, thank you.
And maybe we can have you back again sometime
Definitely.
if you're going to be around in the spring.
Oh yeah, we will be.
Yeah, we will be.
Okay. I'll see the rest of you in the viewing audience on the next episode.